Stewie Griffin, the evil genius baby who's somehow smarter than everyone in Quahog combined.
I got things to do.
Where you think you're going?
I'm going downstairs.
Oh, there's a toll in the hole now. $10.
Look, can I...
From building time machines to plotting world domination, Stewie has given us some of the wildest, most outrageous moments in cartoon history. Today, we're counting down 5 episodes where Stewie went completely over the top. And trust me, number 1 is absolutely insane. Let's get into it. Alright, kicking off our list is one of Stewie's most iconic inventions, the time machine. And let's be honest, only Stewie Griffin would think, forget pacifiers, I need to conquer the laws of space and time. Now, in classic Stewie fashion, he doesn't just use the machine responsibly. No, he goes absolutely over the top. One of the wildest examples is in the episode Road to the Multiverse, where he and Brian travel through alternate realities. And let me tell you, this baby takes us on a tour that would make even Doctor Strange say, "Whoa, slow down." Key moments? Oh, there are plenty. We see Stewie dragging Brian into a Disney-style universe where everyone breaks into song and dance. I mean, watching Stewie sing his heart out while animals harmonize in the background is not only outrageous, it's nightmare fuel in the best way. Then, as if that wasn't enough, Stewie cranks it up another notch with a stop in a post-apocalyptic world. Picture it. Stewie, still in his red overalls, strutting through a wasteland like a toddler Mad Max. Over the top? Absolutely. Hilarious? Even more so. And just when you think it can't get crazier, the duo lands in a universe where humans are the pets and dogs are the owners. Watching Stewie get dragged around on a leash, that's comedy gold. And it's all because this evil genius baby couldn't resist playing God with time and space. What makes this so outrageous is Stewie's casual attitude about it all. To him, rewiring the entire fabric of reality is just another Tuesday. He's not worried about the butterfly effect or destroying history. He's worried about whether Brian's sarcasm is slowing him down. So yeah, Stewie's time machine isn't just a plot device. It's a playground for his insane imagination, and a constant reminder that when you give a genius baby unlimited power, he's going to use it in the most unhinged way possible. Coming in at number 4 is Stewie's arch-nemesis, Bertram. Now, it's hilarious enough that Stewie even has a nemesis. He's a baby. But when you're an evil genius trapped in diapers, you apparently need a rival who matches your brain power and thirst for destruction. Enter Bertram. The first time we meet Bertram is at a playground turf war. Yup, 2 babies, Stewie and Bertram, face off like mob bosses over who controls the jungle gym. But instead of sharing swings like normal kids, they escalate things into full-on gang warfare. Stewie pulls out military-grade weaponry, tactical maps, and even gives speeches like he's leading an army. Over the top? Oh, completely. Imagine parents at the park sipping coffee while their kids are playing, and meanwhile, Stewie's holding a war council. But Stewie doesn't stop there. In later showdowns, the rivalry gets darker and way more outrageous. There's the infamous sperm bank episode where Stewie actually discovers that Bertram is his half-brother. And instead of being, happy about having family, Stewie immediately decides he must destroy him. Because, of course, there can only be one genius baby in Quahog. One of the wildest fights happens when Stewie and Bertram duel at a Renaissance fair. And no, this isn't a baby slap fight. They go all in with swords, crossbows, and dramatic speeches like they're extras in Game of Thrones. At one point, Stewie actually slashes Bertram with a real sword, and you're sitting there like, wait, did this just turn into an action movie starring babies? What makes all of this so outrageous isn't just the violence. It's the fact that Stewie treats Bertram like his lifelong archenemy, the Joker to his Batman, while they're both still in diapers. Every encounter is dialed up to 100. Epic battles, life or death stakes, all happening in playgrounds, parks, and places you'd least expect. So yeah, Stewie versus Bertram isn't just a baby rivalry, it's a war saga. And only Stewie Griffin could turn something as simple as sharing a sandbox into a murderous feud that feels straight out of an action blockbuster. At number 3, we have one of Stewie's most bizarre and outrageous schemes, the Broadway kidnapping plot. And honestly, this one proves Stewie is equal parts genius. and completely insane. So here's the setup. Stewie, while hanging out with Brian, figures out that every Broadway musical is secretly written as an elaborate ploy to get women into bed. Yup, he's watching shows like Les Mis and Phantom of the Opera and realizes, wait a second, these catchy songs are just subliminal messages to seduce women. Only Stewie would connect those dots. But instead of just laughing it off, Stewie does what Stewie always does, and he cranks it to 1,000. He and Brian head to New York to investigate, and what starts as a field trip turns into Stewie masterminding an actual kidnapping scheme. His target? None other than Andrew Lloyd Webber and the Broadway industry bigwigs themselves. The key moment, and it's peak Stewie, is when he storms into the backstage world of Broadway like a tiny mob boss, laying out this sinister plan to control the theater world. And here's where it gets wild. Stewie actually abducts the producers, holds them hostage, and threatens to expose the entire operation unless he's cut in on the power. Think about that. A baby in overalls running a hostage situation against Broadway legends. And the funniest part? He does it with total confidence, like he's orchestrating a world takeover. He's not even nervous. He's cracking jokes, singing along, and treating Broadway like his personal playground for domination. This is Stewie at his most over the top because the stakes are just so ridiculous. We're talking about a 1-year-old with a teddy bear, holding Andrew Lloyd Webber hostage so he can control Cats and Phantom of the Opera. It's not just outrageous, it's hilariously deranged. And in the end, of course, Stewie's scheme collapses because, well, Broadway doesn't exactly run on baby dictatorships. But the fact that he even tried it makes this plot one of his most insane and unforgettable moments. Now, at number 2, we get to Stewie's most infamous obsession, his constant, borderline ridiculous vendetta against his mom, Lois. From the very first season of Family Guy, Stewie has made it crystal clear. He doesn't just dislike Lois, he wants her gone. But the time he actually follows through on this obsession, that's when things get truly outrageous. We're talking about the 2-part saga. Stewie kills Lois and Lois kills Stewie. And yes, the titles are exactly what they sound like. So let's break down the madness. It starts off with Stewie being his usual bratty, murderous self. He's tired of Lois bossing him around, so he decides it's finally time to make good on his threats. In one key moment, he literally pulls out a gun. And yes, we're reminded again that this is a baby. And straight up shoots Lois on a cruise ship. Just picture it. Vacation vibes, cocktails, sunsets, and Stewie whips out a pistol like he's in an action movie. Outrageous doesn't even begin to cover it. After that, Stewie goes into full supervillain mode. With Lois seemingly gone, he takes over the Griffin family and eventually sets his sights on something even bigger: world domination. He actually storms Congress, delivers dramatic speeches, and installs himself as a dictator. And here's the kicker. He's good at it. The baby takes over the United States like he's been planning this his whole life, which, knowing Stewie, he has. Of course, the twist is that Lois survives the assassination attempt and comes back for revenge. And this sets up the ultimate showdown. Lois versus Stewie. Mother and baby facing off in a full-blown action sequence, complete with gunfights, explosions, and dramatic standoffs. It plays like a Hollywood thriller, except one of the leads is still in diapers. What makes this so outrageous is how seriously Stewie commits to it. There's no holding back, no silly half measures. He actually shoots Lois, actually takes over the world, and fights her to the death. It's Stewie at his absolute peak of insanity, and it remains one of the most iconic arcs in Family Guy history. Number 1 on the list is Stewie's lifelong dream: world domination. From the very first episode of Family Guy, Stewie Griffin has been plotting, scheming, and inventing his way toward total control of the planet. And while most babies are busy learning to walk, Stewie is building death rays, mind control devices, and armies of robotic minions. One of the key moments comes from the early episode Chitty Chitty Death Bang, where Stewie makes it very clear he doesn't just want a slice of cake at his birthday party. He wants absolute power. He builds his first mind control device and gives these dramatic dictator-style speeches to his teddy bear, Rupert. Imagine a baby in pajamas declaring war on the entire world while snuggling a teddy. It's both terrifying and hilarious. But Stewie doesn't stop there. In later episodes, his plans get bigger and crazier. In E Peterbus Unum, Stewie actually secedes from the United States by declaring his own independent nation in the Griffin living room. He sets up borders, rules, and even tries to form alliances, all while sitting on the couch in a booster seat. The image of a baby trying to run his own country is outrageously funny, but the fact that he actually takes it seriously makes it even better. And then, of course, there are his world-ending inventions. He's pulled out laser cannons capable of wiping out entire cities, weather machines that could plunge the planet into chaos, and even nuclear weapons, all hidden in his bedroom toy chest. The key outrageous detail? Stewie's plans usually fall apart not because they're unrealistic, but because he gets distracted. One minute he's ready to conquer Earth, the next he's arguing with Brian over TV shows. The most over-the-top part of his world domination arc might be in Patriot games. After failing at politics and family power grabs, Stewie enters a boxing match and literally tries to beat his way into control. His ego is so massive that he's convinced physical dominance will translate into global leadership. Spoiler? It doesn't. What makes these world domination attempts so hilarious is Stewie's total commitment. He acts like a Bond villain in miniature form. Full speeches, elaborate traps, massive inventions, and yet, at the end of the day, he still needs Lois to change his diaper. The contrast between his genius and his baby limitations makes these episodes some of the most outrageous in Family Guy history. So, there you have it. 5 times Stewie Griffin went completely off the rails and reminded us why he's the wildest baby on TV. But what do you think? Which Stewie moment had you laughing the hardest? And is there one you think deserves a spot on this list? Let us know down in the comments, like we love hearing your takes. And if you had fun reliving Stewie's madness with us, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next countdown. Because with Stewie, you never know what kind of chaos is coming next.